Hey, this is Don Underwood. We're here at the Landing in Liberty, Missouri, April 17, 2008, for the Landing Arm Wrestling Championship. The top row is in the house. We got one of the best arm wrestlers right now to this date on paper, 2007 left-handed AAA national champion. Right here tonight is going to be pulling for our middleweight championship against the great Mike Snelling. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking right now and what you come to Kansas City for today.
I come and pull Mike. I know he's a good hooker, and I'm a top roller, so I know it's going to be a good match. I mean, I think it's going to be decided between 10 and 2. If my hit's firing off, I think I can handle him. I know he's as strong as an ox, and I know he's recent competitors. He's beat them, and they've beat me in the past.
Who's he beating that you're talking about exactly?
He beat James Smith, and he hammered me back in July. But last time we pulled, I beat Mike, but it's been a few years ago, and I know he's a different puller now.
Well, you know, James Smith is rated as one of the top arm wrestlers in the world at 198 pounds. So you think Mike Snelling is comparable to James Smith?
Well, absolutely. He won. You know, he's a USA national champ. I think I'm a true 176er. I'm going to go down to that weight. But I said I weighed in today, dressed 197, so I know I'm getting up a little rear end to him. But I said I can compensate that. I've been training hard. I had a sinus surgery about 6 weeks ago. I kind of took it out of my sails, but I can actually breathe now, so I feel like I'm 100%. My wrist was banged up when I went to New York last year, but I still got fourth right-handed, so this year, I mean, my next goal is to go back down to West Palm and to clean up left and right. This right here would be a good test to see where I'm at tonight. I know Mike's one of the best around. So.
Well, absolutely. And you know, this is a small local tournament, and a lot of people's overlooking it as kind of just another tournament in the, you know, on the paper or whatever. But, I mean, when you really get down to business, there's some talent here tonight. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Mark Nooch, he's a freak. I mean, this guy, nobody really probably knows him. I'm probably an unknown arm wrestler until somebody pulls me and they figure out, oh my God, this guy's for real. But I said, Mark Nooch pulling Mike Drew tonight. Mark's got a huge hand. I mean, it's basically like, you know, a catcher's mitt with no netting in it. I mean, it's just it's sick. Right. I mean, you could just tattoo Ettridge Farms on the side of his hand. I said, so tonight he's going to be going down to West Palm also. He's going to be 230s next time he pulls. And he's pulled Michael Todd before and gave him fit. So, I mean, and then we got Jason Pedruzzi and Jason Payne. He took fourth in the Masters class right hand. He's pulling tonight. I see Jim Coyle's here. It's going to be a good show, man. For Thursday night, man, this is a hell of a turnout. So.
Well, I really appreciate you coming up, first of all. I mean, you came a long way to support me in Top Row. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you just got your Top Row shirt on. What do you kind of think about what's going on with that?
I like this, man. I mean, it ain't sticking to me. I like my shirts on me, but I don't want them sticking to me. I like the arms. I mean, this is nice, man. The camo. You got everything going, bud. What's
the future of arm wrestling? We're really hoping that we do well with it. Back to arm wrestling, let's talk a little bit about the way you train. What do you do? I mean, somebody tells me, and I'll be honest with you, I've seen him do it, but I want you to explain to everybody how to do a one-arm pull-up, because most people in the natural world cannot do that physically.
It took me a little work. I do physical therapy for a living, and I'm a certified strength trainer. I started out doing it on a total gym probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where it was about 70% of my weight, where I could get one arm. A lot of guys say they can do a one-arm pull-up, but they're grabbing their wrist. I mean, that's cheating. That's not a one-arm pull-up. The hardest thing of it is a lot of it's in your wrist and stabilizing your body to be able to take that initial ump. And I started doing that on a total gym, and I was able to progress. You've seen the thing I had in my basement where I got a 2-inch pipe, I got 1-inch pipe, and I could get the center of it. And before I went to AAA Nationals last year, I could do 3 each arm, left and right. So
very impressive, absolutely impressive. Give me a prediction tonight: Mike Snelling versus Shane McLaughlin.
I think right hand. I think I'll sweep him. Left-handed. If I hit him hard the first match and I top roll him, I think he's going to try to slip and get to the straps. Like I said, that left hand is going to be decided 10 and 2. I got to bring my A game. I mean, I know Frank's going to bring it. So I mean,
well, absolutely. And you know, I mean, unfortunately tonight we're starting. We got some amazing title belts, as you know. You haven't got a chance to see them yet.
I hope you got size 32.
Size 32. I don't know. We might be able to get an extension for you, big boy. But no, the bottom line is being left-handed is what you're pulling for the belt tonight. We're going to pull right for pride. Yeah. After tonight, we're going to do the right and left-handed, best percentage wins. But you think that's a fair advantage for you or for Mike tonight?
Either. I mean, he's naturally left-handed. I'm ambidextrous. I mean, I was a 4-time state champion wrestler in high school. I've always been able to wrestle. When I rode bulls, I was always left-handed doing it. You know, I'm stronger either way. I mean, I obviously got more coordination in my right hand since I'm right hand dominant. But like I said, I got quite a bit of coordination in my left. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think I'm ready for him. I mean, if I wouldn't think I'd ready, I wouldn't have drove 4 hours up here.
Absolutely. What do you think about the concept of creating an entertainment value in arm wrestling? Bringing almost characters. I know one of your guys has got a mask. We got some guys that are going to be screaming and hollering. Well, I mean, compare WWE and the fan base to the fan base of arm wrestling. As you know, we got arm wrestlers, and there's maybe 150, 200 people in the crowd, but they're all with arm wrestlers. What do you think? Is that going to make a difference to get the people out in a fan base to bring them in to watch us to do what we do?
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, you've got to have some time of build up with the tournament. I mean, a lot of people go up there and they see people, especially on TV, they watch it 15 minutes, they're sitting there fighting hands, and they're changing the channels, they're getting bored with it. And if you're watching UFC and all that kind of stuff, this is different, I mean, but it's still a contact sport. The big fights, the big pay-per-views, it's all the drama that builds up to it. There's there's always going to be a little trash talking, but you can have respect. I respect anybody that gets on that table. Anybody that goes one-on-one, I got respect for them. But you're going to have that little bit of edge. It's like, okay, you know, this guy's he's a 98 national champ. He thinks I'm a 189. He wants some of this, and he thinks he wants to be the undisputed champ, even though we're kind of two different weight classes. But, you know, that kind of thing right there kind of steamrolls, and he's going to have people here hollering for him, this hometown. Right. And that's what arm wrestling needs. It needs this next level of, hey, there's a little bit of build up to this. This guy's got a character. This guy's got a storyline. He's going to run with it. This is what he brings. And everybody has their own personality. You got to bring that flavor when you go to pull. I mean, so it's just boring, you know.
What are you going to do if he gets in your face tonight and tells you, hey, boy, I'm going to beat your ass. I will win this match tonight. Is that going to intimidate you tonight?
No. I'm a block wall up here. I mean, if anything, he better worry about me, because, I mean, if we're talking about competitions, I don't know his track record, but I've been champion at everything. I've been tough.
Tell me a little bit about what you've done in the past, that you've been a champion, and what makes you so good at this as a competitor.
Well, I've always been gravitated towards, you know, individual sports. I didn't like football in high school. They passed it off to me, and it was basically 12-on-1 for me to get to the end zone because people wasn't blocking. I ran track and played football in college. I could kick off returns. I was a sprinter. I ran 100 to 200. I always liked the individual sports, and because I feel like it digs deep into what you are. I mean, that's what makes you
brings the best out of you,
man. You're not dependent on anybody else but yourself. And to me, I mean, tonight I'm mentally. I can go right now. I mean, I don't care. I don't back down from anybody. Mentally, I mean, I've been up against 1,800-pound bulls. I fought in tough men's where I was 195, and I fought a guy that's 260.
And you won these, right?
I beat the shit out of him because I got hard. I'll keep coming. I've had my nose broke. I just got this thing fixed. This thing used to be sideways. What he could have done.
Well, it ain't no prettier, I got to tell you that.
I mean, there's 10 grand sitting there. But anyway, I had to get my nose straightened out because it's been broke several times. And but I'm all done with that. Arm wrestling, I just love it. It's just one-on-one. You know, you control your own destiny. I mean, you know, if I win or lose, it's on me. You know, I ain't blaming anybody else. I should have gone home and trained harder.
Well, that's absolute truth, guys, coming right from Shane McLaughlin, AAA National Champion. I'm Don Underwood, Top Roll. Let me tell you something, guys. It's going to be a show tonight. Thanks, Shane McLaughlin, for coming up.
I'm ready.
Hey, this is Don Underwood coming back to you. Top Roll's in the house. Here with Jason Pedruzzi, Wichita, Kansas. Came up with Shane McLaughlin and a few other guys to arm wrestle here at the Landing, April 17, 2008. Jason Pedruzzi, tell me a little bit about what's going on tonight, who you're pulling, and what are you going to do?
Well, I'm pulling Big Matt, and we got a little bit of history. Big Matt came down to the tournament there in Wichita last year, and we had a pretty good match. You know, we got back and forth a little bit, and in the end, he won, and he was a better man that day. So I'm coming back for a little bit of revenge. You know, I've been training a little bit harder, and I think I got something for him tonight. So I'm going to do what I can.
So you're telling me that you're going to wear him slick, basically. I mean, in your mind, focused, you're telling me that you can beat him tonight.
I can. I think I'm focused enough. I've been training hard enough. I've learned a few new techniques, and I think I got his number. I learned something from our last match. So
tell me a little bit about the training that you've been doing to get ready for this and focus for your super match tonight.
Well, a lot of what I've been doing is table time. I'm a big guy. Matt's a big guy. I don't think I'm going to beat him in the weight room. You know, the guy spends a lot of time in the weight room. So I'm looking at technique, speed, table adjustments, hitting quick, doing some of the timing things that I think are what make me a good arm wrestler.
Very important aspects. Tell me a little bit about some of the other things that you do just to get you mentally focused and prepared for battle.
Well, you know, in training, I do several other combat things. You know, I'm a tough man fighter. I do the cage combat fights. I've been in karate my entire life, so I try to focus, with meditation, try to concentrate on what my opponent's doing, focus on what he's doing and how I can counter what he's doing. So,
well, I'll tell you what, give me a prediction tonight. What's it going to be? I know that you're just pulling him. You're going to pull him left-handed tonight. Is that correct?
I like to pull him left and right, but yeah.
But you're scheduled to pull, and we'll negotiate here in a little bit.
Sure.
What's your prediction tonight? Matt Alpert versus Jason Pedruzzi?
I think I'm going to beat him in the top rope. I really do. I think I've got hand strength on him. I think I'm going to beat him in the top rope.
Okay, you haven't really negotiated how many matches you're going to pull. You either got best of 3 or best of 5. What's it going to be if you go best of 3?
Best of 3 is going to be 2. It's going to be 2-0. I'm going to go 1-2. I'm going to go 1-1 on him. There won't be a third match.
There you go, Jason Pedruzzi calling it like he sees it. Top Roll's in the house. Thank you.
Good job.
Don Underwood at the Landing Top Roll Arm Wrestling Championship, April 17th, 2008. We got some super matches in the house. Sitting here with Big Matt Alpert. He's scheduled to arm wrestle Big Jason Pedruzzi, Wichita, Kansas. Tell me a little bit about what's on your mind right now and what you're thinking about.
Right now, it's just winning.
Winning.
That's
Simple
it.
as that.
That's it.
You're not worried about him.
Nope.
You don't care anybody. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
What if he gets in your face and calls you boy and says you ain't going to do anything? It's going to intimidate you at
Nope.
all.
Not going to stop me.
Not going to do anything.
Nothing's gonna
Well,
stop
tell
me.
me a little bit about what you've been doing to train for this. Have you been on the table? Have you been in the weight room? What's going on with Matt Alpert?
Doing a little mixture, a little bit of weight room, but more on the table than anything else. I've been off for about 6 months or so, getting back, and it's kind of like riding a bicycle, getting back on, getting on the table, and pulling like I haven't pulled before.
All right, absolutely. That's great. Outside of arm wrestling, is there some other things that you have interest in? I mean, what do you do outside of arm wrestling, work, school, and otherwise?
Well, I'm going to school part-time, working full-time,
Okay.
working about 50 to 60 hours a week.
Wow.
Plus, like I said, school, only about 10 credit hours. Not much. I'm just about done.
What are you majoring in?
Manufacturing technology.
And is this your first degree?
Yes, it is. It's just an associate's. It's my 4-year, 2-year degree.
Well, it's always nice to hear somebody's got a goal either way. But I'll tell you what, I want to hear a prediction straight from you. If you haven't negotiated, it's either 3, best of 3, or best of 5. But what's it going to be if best of 3? Who's going to win and what's it going to be?
I'm going to win. Simple as that.
2-0.
2-0.
Coming straight from Big Matt Alpert at the Landing. Top Roll's in the house.
But all this crap in front of the women's wrestling.
How are you? Glad that was over. Hey, Don Underwood back again. Big Jason Payne, another Wichita native, traveled all the way to Kansas City on this dreary night, a Thursday night arm wrestling tournament. What do you think about that?
Just had to take a couple days off from work and get it done, man.
Now, is that actually worth it to you to come up and actually compete man to man to actually get a prize out of this?
Oh, yeah, man, I love this stuff.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on with your training. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with your training and about some of the things outside of arm wrestling that you do.
I do a lot of grip training, a lot of heavy grip training.
I understand that you're one of the best grip trainers. Actually, another guy, Scott, is with Team Top Roll, has talked an awful lot about some of the things that you're doing. Tell me a little bit about your grip training.
Well, I started doing a lot of steel bending last 4 months, and I actually climbed the ladder pretty quick on that deal.
So does that mean you're in top 10, top 20, worldwide, U.S.? Where you at?
Oh, I'd say in the grand scheme of things, probably the top 10 to 20.
It's amazing.
I mean, I'm on a list. There's only 25 guys that have bent the piece of steel that I did about 3 weeks ago. So
That's pretty impressive.
it's going pretty good. And I've only been doing it for 4 months, but I mean, I attribute a lot of that to the arm wrestling, the powerlifting training
Absolutely.
I did competitive powerlifting for about 10 years. So.
Well, it's not obvious at all with the big barrel chest you got there.
Well, I'll tell you what, arm wrestling is a whole different sport than powerlifting.
Tell us a little bit about the difference, because a lot of people think, and what I get a lot, because I'm a big guy myself, is how much can you bench press? You know, because I'm at an arm wrestling tournament, and I look at them and I tell them it really doesn't matter. I can bench press nothing and still beat you, pal. You know, I'm just telling them the truth. But what do you think about that?
Well, when I started arm wrestling, I'm just going to tell you right now, you got to put your ego in your back pocket, because I don't care if you bench 300 pounds, you bench 600 pounds. You meet up against a guy that's done some arm wrestling and is trained at it, he's going to hurt your feelings.
So you're basically telling me that technique is more important than power, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of things. I think the powerlifting, I'm not going to lie to you, the powerlifting helped me a lot, but I've been doing this sport for 4 years, and I'm still nowhere close to where I think I need to be. I mean, I'm still just an infant in this sport as far as I'm concerned.
And you're a master. You're over 40, and you started when? What was the age that you started at?
I started at 38.
38 years
I turned
old.
43 into this month.
And you really have, I mean, you don't have to have an age limit in this sport. I mean,
Oh, I
you
don't.
feel like, I mean, there's guys 51 and 55 years old that are still taking first at the major events.
Yeah, I've gotten beaten by a 60-year-old. So.
Well, there you go. Tell me a little bit about your opponent tonight, about Big Matt Alpert. What's going to happen on that table?
I just showed up here to try to hurt some feelings, man. That's all I'm
You bringing the anger, I understand, man. You got a little something going on, getting in the closet, bringing out that evil spirit you got deep inside you, huh?
I'm pretty laid back most of the time, but you get into some deal like this, sometimes you just gotta.
Man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Bring the pain, bring the heat.
You gotta get busy.
Give me a prediction right now. Who's it going to be, Matt Alpert or Big Jason Payne?
Well, man, I got to go with Jason Payne, man. I can't go up there with that defeatist attitude, man. I love it. Like I said, I come up here to get it done.
Well, get her done.
I didn't drive 3 hours for nothing.
I thank you for your time. Top Roll's in the house.
All right, man.
Don Underwood, the landing. I'm back at the landing. April 17th, 2008, rainy night. Big Mike Drew, heavyweight champion, right here in the house tonight. Got a great competitor in Mark Nuge, come from Wichita, Kansas. Says he's going to take you down and put a hurting on you. What do you think about that?
I don't think he can get it done.
And why is that? I mean,
I just been training hard.
Who are you training with?
Well, you, of course.
Team Top Roll,
Team
right?
Top Roll.
Right on, baby.
I don't know much about the guy. I heard he's a good puller, but so am I. So I'm here to win. I ain't second's just first loser. That's all I look at it.
Man, that's a fact. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do outside of arm wrestling, and kind of the interest that brought you into arm wrestling?
I've been pulling, I guess it's been 12 years now I've been arm wrestling. And you've kept me in it, actually. So I got hurt there for a while. I come back off an injury. We'll see how I hold together.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. I put you in this match because I feel like you absolutely, you got novice guys, you got professional guys. I think you're in between the two of those and just about to break in to be one of the top professionals. And I want you to kind of tell me where you think you're at in the professional leagues of this arm wrestling sport.
I'm coming up. Anybody that knows me knows that, well, you and I, we went to Worlds together back in 2002. So I'm nobody to really take lightly in this.
That wasn't a fun trip up, I got to tell you.
Yeah, it was a little rough on us, wasn't it? It was up and back, and then back up again.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to it. I hear he's an excellent puller, and that's where I'm at. I want to get on the table, and I'm gonna put him on my side of the table every time. 1, 2, 3.
Well, I understand that he's kind of a real mild guy, and I know that you get hyped up. We've actually we started with two guys in the Band Brothers years ago, me and Michael Todd. We've actually gave you an honorary membership to that club, and there's only 3 people. I can absolutely say that you got some serious energy. Do you think that's going to be the difference in the match tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You think he's going to be able to slow you down on that big hit of yours?
Personally, on a personal note, no. I don't think he'll be able to stop it.
And what if he does the first match? What kind of adjustments do you think that you can make to get that job done?
Oh, there's a lot of adjustments. I ain't going to give up all my secrets.
There
right
you go. Well, this is Big Mike Drew. He is the Top Roll #1 heavyweight champion at this point tonight. We'll see what happens tonight. Thank you, Mike Drew. Don Underwood, Top Roll Arm Wrestling Championship. Don Underwood, Top Roll Arm Wrestling Championship, April 17th, 2008, the Landing, Liberty, Missouri. Here with Big Mark Nuge from Wichita, Kansas. Drove all the way up to Kansas City on a Thursday, I must say, to pull my heavyweight champion, Big Mike Drew. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking right now, Mark.
Just looking for some competition. We've been not very many tournaments down there, not anybody to pull, so we got to drive for a little bit and look for some comp.
Right. Do you know anything about your competitor tonight?
No, I don't.
Does that bother you at all, or is it just doesn't really matter to you? Or do you got that killer instinct that you just beat anybody? Doesn't make a difference?
Yeah, it don't really make a difference. It doesn't bother me to pull John Brzezinski or whoever. I don't. If I lose, I lose.
Right.
But I'm looking for a good match.
Tell me about your predictions tonight. You planning on winning this thing, or are you going to be this mellow guy and just whatever, take your beating and run like a dog? Or are you going to get fired up for this kid?
I'm planning on winning.
Because I know I got to tell you, Mike Drew is a character in himself. You know, he's got a lot of energy. I mean, it's like, you know, heaven and hell with you guys. It's like you're just a real laid back, mellow guy, and he's a normal, just a great guy. Don't get me wrong, but when he gets up there, he's a different cat. Does that bother you at all?
I'm saving it for the table.
Saving it for the table. Well, I'll tell you what. Give me some predictions tonight. You or Mike Drew?
Me.
Simple enough. Top Roll's in the house.
Short and sweet.
Don Underwood back at the Landing, Liberty, Missouri. 2008 Top Roll Championship Arm Wrestling right here in Kansas City. Thursday night, we got Jim Coyle came all the way. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Is that right? Tulsa? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Or do I have to say it with a draw like that? Tell me a little bit about what you think about what I'm doing up here and what brought you to Kansas City tonight.
Well, Don, just looking at those belts, that's a trip within itself just to see those belts there. That's pretty
Well, we're
nice.
trying to do something a little bit different, add a little bit more entertainment to the sport of arm wrestling. When did you start arm wrestling?
Oh, man, before most of you's born.
Is that right? Well, tell me about what year that was.
Oh, that is probably about year 1967.
So that makes you about old, right?
Yeah, about old.
How old are you, Jim?
I'm 58. I'll be 59.
And do you think that age is a hindrance to anybody in the sport of arm wrestling, or does it really make a difference?
Well, I retired from truck driving for 32 years ago from Yellow Freight. And after I retired, some of the guys wanted me to start arm wrestling again. So, here I am, 58 years old.
You're 58 years old, but you're very competitive. I've seen you win overall championships. I've seen you beat some talented people, man. I mean, what do you do to stay in shape? And how do you, at 57 years old, how do you stay in shape to arm wrestle with all these young guys?
The only way you can do it is you got to have real good workout partners, and we work out every week.
And now, who do you train with?
Dan Whittle, Mike Calk, Bruce Scott, Joe Getz.
Some of the top arm wrestlers in the United States, hell, in the world at that fact,
Right,
huh?
yeah.
So that makes a difference in your arm wrestling, your training. Now, do you lift weights? Do you do anything outside of arm wrestling?
Really, not a whole lot of just arm wrestling mainly. We get together every week, at least once a week, and arm wrestling. That's mainly.
Well, tell me what you think tonight. I mean, you're going to be probably the oldest guy in the class, and you got some young guns that don't know anything about you. You think you're going to throw some surprises on these guys, or what?
We'll see. I get surprised a whole lot too.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Jim Coyle's in the house. Top Roll is too, guys.
Yeah.
I got one more now. Don Underwood, Liberty, Missouri, 2008 Top Roll Arm Wrestling Championship. I'm here with my business partner, Big Daddy Fulls, formerly known as Jason Fuller, owner.
The legend, the myth.
Well, he just told me how it was. I thought I was doing well saying what I was saying. That's nice stuff. Tell me a little bit about what got you involved in this crazy sport of arm wrestling.
Well, you see my friend Woody right here. He's one of the baddest arm wrestlers around. I mean, he's
bad meaning good.
Top 10 easily any day of the week. He's been asking me for a couple years, and I said, Woody, let's train. And Woody said, I'm ready to start training. He started taking tournaments, so I said, hey, let me offer my expertise and my connections, and let's blow this thing up.
In your business. Yeah, because I'll tell you what, starting a business, I mean, for me, arm wrestling, I know everything about it, but you own several businesses, and you have that savvy about you, because you've stopped me from doing silly things, and it's made a big difference. So tell me about your business background and what you do outside of Steel Gym and Fitness.
Well, business background-wise, we started selling mobile homes, and my dad started in 1969. I grew up in the business. That's all I ever knew. We had a pro wrestling circuit that me and Woody ran. That's how we first became friends. Steel Gym and Fitness, and a hydro seeding company.
Now, what is hydro seeding? What is
hydro seeding? Is liquid stock. It's the big machines you see on the side of the road. So
you blow green to make green.
I blow green to make green, baby. So what I want to do is give Woody an opportunity. You're my friend, to succeed in business. So I'm helping him. This is his business. So we're just, he stopped me from silly mistakes too.
Right.
I mean, we make a good business partner.
Well, you brought up professional wrestling, and it's kind of good that you did, because what I'm trying to do with the sport of arm wrestling is create that entertainment value that people that can come will actually pay to come. Will actually pay to come and watch, because right now it's basically you walk in, it's in a bar, we want to get outside and do some arenas, and I'm trying to create that character aspect. What do you think about that, being a former pro wrestler yourself?
Well, we discussed this before, and it makes perfect sense. Do you go to the movie if it's boring?
Absolutely not, right.
So why would you come to arm wrestling when guys go, thanks, have a nice day? You know what? We want some action.
So what is it going to take? I mean, how do you create something? Because everybody, when I've always in the past, I come up to a venue and I go, hey, I'm Don Underwood, I'm this, I'm that. We want to put an arm wrestling tournament on, and it's like, oh, God, no, there's going to be fights. And how do we make the just average, Joe, if you will, understand that we can create something something so big that's a one-on-one, probably the most natural other outside of boxing or wrestling.
Right.
But I'm talking about man strength, one-on-one. Can we create that and be successful?
Yeah, of course we can. Obviously, take a look around. We're 2 hours before opening. There's not a seat left in the house because everybody's excited because we're excited. This isn't about boring. This is me and you, mano y mano. Best man wins. But you know what? Let's talk some shit.
Right.
We're still friends.
You think that's going to cause friction to people on the table? Say the average Joe comes in and you're up there and you're like, "Hey, pal, I'm going to rip your freaking head off," and blah, blah, blah. And he looks at you and just, "Pow." Is that what you think is going to happen? Or can we develop that and let them know that this is a sport first and foremost, but we have got to entertain?
Right. And that's where we have meetings. You know, you came up with the idea. Let's meet with the guys 10 minutes before it starts. Come on, guys, get serious. Leave it on the table, though. We're all men here. Talk. Errol, you want to talk on that table? You know what? As long as we're not slapping each other, hitting each other.
And I guess if you agree to it, it would be okay.
If you don't want to leave it on the table, you don't need to be in our tournament.
Absolutely. Well, one other thing. I know that you had a bench press record. We was actually talking to one of the other guys earlier about the difference in bench pressing and regular weightlifting and arm wrestling. Tell me a little bit about what you think the difference is between arm wrestling strengths and weightlifting.
Well, to give you an example, I am the strongest guy in this bar right now, and I cannot move this man's arm a half a centimeter. I cannot move Mike Drew's arm a half a centimeter, but I can bench 685 pounds. Now, with Woody being my coach, you teaching me what to do and harnessing that strength and training, it's training specific. It's just like boxers. They lift weights, but they lift specific.
Right.
We're trying to develop a full training regimen specific for arm wrestling. And I'll tell you what, it's working. Excuse me, bud. That's all right.
Guys, we're shooting. You can go right through there. Let's take it from the boxing and the boxing weightlifting.
You know, it's like boxers, UFC guys. They all train specifically for their sports. Well, guess what? Now that I'm into this arm wrestling, there is specific training, and Woody and myself are trying to devise different equipment, different training techniques to work on every aspect of an arm wrestling.
Front pressure, mainly, right?
Well, yeah. You know, I got a little nervous the other night.
That's right.
It's all right.
But back to being serious. You know, we had a guy that was arm wrestling my last tournament. Injuries, bad injuries can happen to you.
Very bad.
Bobby broke his arm. Young guy, good-looking kid. You know, he broke his arm. He's got good spirits. Let's say if it happened to somebody close to you or even yourself, how would that affect you in your lifestyle?
Well, Bobby was close to me. He worked for me for 3 years. I talked him into doing the tournament. He wanted to do it. I paid for him. It just, you know what, it set me back a little bit, but I love the sport. It's just like wrestling. I broke every bone in my body, but I kept coming back week after week after week. If it's going to affect you enough, if you don't love the sport enough, it's not the sport for you.
Don't do it if you don't love it because it hurts like hell.
Oh, I've been hurt for 8 weeks.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I started with 16-inch arms. You know, now we're looking. I mean, I got silly.
It's ridiculous.
I can't my arm, as you can see. I mean, is it really worth it to do this? Because, I mean, what happens if an injury occurs to where you can't do your daily 4 weeks?
If that is your true love, it's no different than your wife. Just because you get rid of them?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
Right.
But you have to love it because it hurts like hell. And there is, what if I break my arm tonight? I got a little girl, but guess what? I got another arm. I'm good to go.
Well, we hate to hear that.
So,
well, let me tell you guys, coming straight from Liberty, Missouri, Skill Human Fitness, our home, it's the warehouse. This guy is
real deal.
Business all the way. He is my partner 100%. I got to thank you all the way for what you've done for us so far. Sky's the limit. We'll take a look at some tables in a little while, but Top Rope is in the house. Okay. Don Underwood back here. the Landing in Liberty, Missouri. It's Thursday night with my middleweight champion, Mike Snelling. Mike, thanks for coming tonight. How you feeling?
Oh, I feel all right. I feel pretty decent.
You struggled to make your weight a little bit.
Yes,
Is that going to affect you tonight in the tournament? I know Shane McLaughlin is fired up and says he's gunning for you.
Yeah, a lot of people are gunning for me right now. You know, I'm rated one of the top in the world right now, left-handed, and you know, there will be a lot of guys gunning for me, and he's one of them. And in fact, 4 years ago, he beat me.
So is that going to affect your judgment? I mean, are you going to get on that stage with true anger and bring that character Mike Snelling out, or what are you going to do tonight?
He beat me 4 years ago, and he made me.
Hang on. Jesus, man. I've only been sitting here 10 minutes doing this. Now, is that going to affect you tonight with him beating you in the past? What's the deal?
Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of anger to the table. I am very furious with him about the loss that I took to him in St. Joe 4 years ago. And I was a totally different puller back then. You know, I was out pulling everything and pulling. I never give a time. I've learned a new strategy to arm wrestling is let yourself heal up a little bit. You know, give yourself a weak break. And so, yeah, and he was kind of arrogant when he beat me, and I remember that very much.
Well, I can tell you, Shane McLaughlin has the arrogance about him because he's very confident. Now, here's a question for you, real quick. You train with a different team. We're trying to bring you over to top rope. We give you an opportunity for this belt. Is that going to affect the way that you pull tonight, knowing that you have this belt, first of all, and that you're pulling left-handed for the title, but you're pulling right-handed as well for pride? Can you beat this kid right-handed also?
It's questionable. I do have injuries right-handed, but I'm not going to let them affect me.
Well,
tonight.
man, I'll tell you right now, I hope you get up there with the same anger right-hand as you do left, because I'm telling you, you're pulling for Team Top Row, and I know that you can get this done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the training that you do with, Kansas City Arms Control, Don Fritchie, Scott Fleming, those guys out in Oak Grove. You know, I used to train with those. I branched off Top Row. We're doing big things here. How do we get involved with those guys, or how do they come over? Or is it something that's even possible, you think?
It's possible. It's very possible. I mean, they haven't seen the bigness of this yet. I mean, they haven't seen what you guys are making out of this yet, and they will eventually. And it will be. The training, I don't know if it's any different. I mean, I know that we train hard on Wednesday nights as well as you guys train hard.
I know I used to be out there in the training, and I can just tell you from experience, my training, we have 2 hours, 6 to 8 Steel Gym and Fitness, that we start at 6 and we end at 8, and there's no table relief. You know, do you think that will actually make a difference in the future compared to where you guys are more of a social area, good arm wrestling practice, but not a solid 2-hour practice?
Yeah, I think the more concentrated you do on arm wrestling, the more you're going to learn. What we do is kind of break up the monotony, but absolutely, I mean, I think...
So tell me a little bit about the training that you guys do out there.
A lot of pulling in a hook. We grab each other and we pull wrist to wrist in a hook and go slow back and forth. We don't do a lot of hitting or anything like that.
Right.
We just pull in a hook, and it's power versus power.
Well, it's obviously working. You're one of the top arm wrestlers in the United States. I'm very proud to have you on this team and representing Top Row.
I appreciate
One more thing I want to talk about. What's going to happen tonight? Give me your predictions. Mike Snelling or Shane McLaughlin? AAA National Champion versus a USAF National Champion. This is huge, guys. This is a unification title right here. Liberty, Missouri. What's it going to be? Who's going to win? Mike Snelling all the way. Thank you, sir. Top Row's in the house, guys. One more thing, I just wanted to let you guys know this is a great event. You got to remember that everybody that's putting their time and effort into this really makes for what you're going to see tonight. So I hope you enjoy it. Top Row will be in the house forever.